Hello, a quick introductional video to the TI83 Plus calculator. First thing I want to point out, it slides off. Notice there's grooves along the side of the calculator here, and the lid slides right onto the back of the calculator then, just like that. No hard crumpling or anything. This is the TI83 calculator. I'm going to show you how to do our statistics stuff on that calculator. So let's get going. No. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is turn your calculator on, clear your main screen out, and then right here you're going to hit Stat. Right there by the arrow keys, there's a button that says Stat. When you hit that button, it's going to bring you into this window right here on your screen, and it's going to say Edit Calc Test, and it has all that stuff in there. If you want, I'll show you what you can do with some of these other things if you want to ask me in class. But what we want to do is we want to edit a list of values so we can come up with some numbers to put in there. So we hit the number 1, so you can hit the number 1, or you can hit the Enter key, whichever you prefer. They'll both take you right into this window here. This window here is where you type in all the numbers. So we had this list of values to use in our example problem. So you've got to put all those in the calculator. And after you type in a number, you hit Enter. And it'll go ahead and move down to the next line and get them all in there. After you get them all entered, then what you have to do, you have to hit the second button and the mode button. Because when you hit the second button, it goes to the menu that's up above, and you'll notice it says quit above the modes. When you do second and mode, it quits. It's going to bring you back to your main screen. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that stat menu, back to the stat menu, and we're going to come back into that same window that we had before, edit, calc, whatever. We're going to use the right arrow key and come into this window here. This is the calculation of stats menu. Notice the very first one is one var stats. What's that mean is one variable stats. So you have one set of information that you want to calculate the statistics on. That's what we want. So you can either hit Enter. Whoa. You can either hit Enter, or you can hit the number 1 button, and it'll bring you onto this. So it'll bring you right into this screen here. Now, one var stats is set up to go as a calculations. It's predetermined on where it goes, and that's in the list L1. But the best thing to do is you want to put in this little L1 thing there. Well, the only way you can do that is if you get the L1 off the calculator. So the first thing you do is you start with this second button. That brings us into our commands, and if you'll notice right above the 1 there is an L1. So what I do is I hit the second, and then I hit the L1, and it gives me this little L1 here, and then I hit Enter. After I hit Enter, it gives me this whole list of goodies. Now this whole list of goodies is quite a bit of what we have in that list. Notice down here at the bottom we have the min, we have our Q1 or our lower quartile, we have our median, we have our third quartile, and we have our max right there. We can write all those things right down. Okay. We also have right here, this is the mean. The X with the bar over the top is the mean. So it has that. It also gave us this funky little signal here, which is our standard deviation. And that's the other number we want. It doesn't give us all of them. So let's see what we did get. Did it give us the mean? Yes. Median? Yes. Mode? No. Minimum? Yes. First quartile? Yes. Third quartile? Yes. Maximum? Yes. Interquartile range? No. We're going to have to do that ourselves. So we're going to have to take the 400 minus the 300. So we have to do that ourselves. We got to take 400 minus 300. Okay. Did do the range? No, but it gave us supposed to max in the mins. So we could take the, what is it, 425? 425 and subtract the 275. We could do that ourselves. It gave us the standard deviation at 50. Well, we know to get the standard deviation, we have to have the square root of the variance. So if I want to go the opposite way, standard deviation squared is the variance. So if I take 50 and I square it, I get 2,500. So we have to do these things ourselves. Same with outliers and mean deviation. Now we can use the calculator yet still to do mean deviation. Here's how that works. Okay, get back down here. So back into your, so you did your stat button, you did your edit, you're back in here. You get onto the L2. Make sure you're on the L2. After you do that, on your calculator screen, you'll notice there's a button right underneath those arrow keys that says VARs. You want to hit that VARs button. When you do, you're going to see this screen pop up. What we want to do is we want to get into our statistics information. That happens to be the number 5. So we can either hit number 5 or we can arrow down to the number 5 and then hit enter. And it's going to bring us into this screen here. And we want to use that screen because right there is our X bar. That's our mean. So I go ahead and I hit the number 2 or arrow down, hit enter. And then I put in, because I'm on L1, then I put in the minus sign and then I hit the L1. So I get this little symbol right here. It says L2 equals this. Now when I hit enter, it fills in all the numbers for me right there. Boom, 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 all the way down the line. Okay, so now I have a calculation for all the average distances away from the mean. But they're not all absolute values. So then what I do is I get onto the L3, and now instead of doing VARs or anything, on my calculator, I'm going to use that math button. It's over there on the left-hand side. It says math. I go hit that button, and when I get into that button, it gives me this little menu right here. Okay, I don't want that menu. I want to be on the numbers menu. So I arrow over one spot with my right key, and I get this menu right here. Notice right there is our ABS. That's our absolute value, which is what we need for our mean value. So I hit that, and I get ABS. Now notice all my numbers are in L2, so I hit the ABS, and it gave me a parenthesis. I put in L2, and I close the parenthesis. And then when I hit enter, I got this last screen. Now all I need to know is what is the average of all those numbers. So I just go back, and I do my 1 bar step. So how do I do that? I quit. Second mode, and then I hit the stat button, I arrow over on the calculate, and I hit the 1 VARs, I got that, and then I had to bring in the L3 because all my numbers were in list 3, and when I did that, I got this number right here. This is my mean deviation. So I got all those. Now, that just leaves me with, so I've calculated that one out now. Move that. That just leaves me with the outliers. And you got to do the outliers the same way I explained in the video. Can't get around that. You have to kind of do those looking. So subtract, take that interquartile range times 1.5, add it to the third quartile. Got any number bigger than that? You know, the whole process. Okay, that's how to do it on the TI83.